to press snooze on the news and turn to the only opinions that really matter. Hey everyone, I'm Steve Noviello. It is time to get for real. My panel is back again tonight for another round. First up, but she never got picked last in gym class. From Fox 4 Sports and Free for All, it's Sam Gannon.
Hello,
Hi
Steve.
there. Good to see you. Pretty in pink again.
Okay.
All right, if you squint your eyes, he just might pass for a salt and pepper John Stamos. Steve Eager is on the show tonight.
That's funny. People used to say I look
All the
like
time.
you used to, really.
All
Okay.
the time.
Right.
Plus,
I see it.
friend of the show, you have heard her on the radio, but we say she's got a face for television. From Dee Dee in the Morning, it's Dee Dee McGuire. Everybody made it back. How'd you feel after last night?
Loved it.
Very
Love
good.
it.
Yeah,
No complaint.
I thought we had some nice chit-chatting going on, and we'll have some more
do
now.
it
If you feel like you're a little left out because maybe you missed last night's episode, you can press rewind on your own time when you catch every episode of For Real right now on Fox Local. But for starters, we're going to take a closer look at tonight's topics because it is time to take two. We begin tonight with the miracle of childbirth, all the warm and fuzzy feelings of growing your family, and the many milestones which were once reserved for the privacy of your own home. But why waste a moment on people you actually love when you could get clicks and likes from people you have never met? Take a look.
After 3 girls, baby number for Wazza.
Are you kidding me? What? We got a girl? Yay! What? Why do we have to get a girl?
All right, a little backstory here. This is Kendra Evans. She is proud mom to 3 girls who, as you just saw, recently found out, guess what? There is one more girl on the way. Her tears almost broke the internet when she wept at the sight of pink smoke at the family's gender reveal. And if you're curious if the pink apple really fell far from the tree, you can also hear her daughter exclaim, "What? Why do we have to get a girl?" Even Dad jumped in to console his wife after the apparently disappointing news that the kids in this family of 6 were going to be an all-girl gang, which frankly, I don't think sounds like such a bad idea. So what's the obvious next step? Post the video to TikTok where it landed the family in an interview with People magazine during which they made this plea to the public, quote, "Gender disappointment is real, both for mom and for dad. Our feelings are valid as humans and gender disappointment should be more normalized." Now, help me to understand here. Is that my job? It seems that normalize me has become the new battle cry of those who were in fact picked last in gym class, who fail to realize that happiness is an inside job, that the very best we can aspire to is not somebody else giving our feelings the green light, but walking among the masses without a constant need for validation. You wanted a boy? Take a minute and be unhappy about it. You want to go to a movie by yourself? Well, that sounds like a great idea to me because I see nothing wrong with it, and not because Tommy in Toledo told me that it was normal. But that's my 2 cents. Panel, please help me validate. Eager?
I saw it. I don't know what the fuss is about, really. I mean, some people have 5 boys, some people have 4 girls. But what I feel for is they must have been hammered online, right? Was the mother hammered because they show pictures of, look, I am happy, we're raising her, we love her. As she progresses from 1 year to toddling, and now she looks 2.5. And so who the heck is badgering people over a moment of disappointment? It's like, shut up.
I think that it's more so not necessarily the disappointment, but the idea of this new normalized culture, right? That we are now, I'm not confident enough to do what I think feels good. I want the rest of the world to co-sign my feelings first, and then I will proceed. Dee Dee?
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys first of all.
about people's feelings.
Well,
I just
okay,
don't.
so Steve's out.
Okay. Here's the only thing I think about that video. Number one, I'm looking at this and I just don't understand how gender reveal now. No, we should be having parties saying, let's celebrate a healthy baby. Right? We're so busy spending all this money about gender reveals. Just pray for a healthy baby. That's number one. But then the other reason why I realize she's crying is that she knows she's got to go through this again. Her husband wants a boy. That's what she's crying about, you guys.
13 children later, this family actually. Yes. Sam Gannon?
I just wonder what some of this too, are we doing this for a response? Like, are we looking for the reaction from people? Because like, as you mentioned, they were gonna get hammered for this. And my initial reaction to is, why do we have to share
everything,
all of these personal moments? Especially if they were truly unhappy and they were really hoping, oh boy, that's what they want, right? So why do we always feel the need to put our personal business out there where you know for a fact that everyone is going to chime in? And for a situation like this, it's probably more negative than positive, I would think.
But guess what else she got? They got in People magazine,
Right.
they got all of these views, right? And now they get to become influencers and make a lot of money.
Right. I'm sure the diaper people have reached
Yeah,
out and
there
said,
you go.
know,
No, you're right.
And that's why.
By the way, though, this is a list of things that people want normalized in 2023.
Okay, what do they want?
Dining alone. They want that to be normal. I think it's normal. Do you dine alone?
I used to.
I totally dine alone. Yeah.
I will go for like a breakfast or a lunch, but the one thing, and it's actually a goal for myself that I would like to do, is be able to go to a dinner by myself.
I totally would.
I still
But I also have
can't.
2 kids at home and a husband, so
See?
I'm like, give me some
I
time by
haven't taken
myself.
that step yet.
Okay,
for
can I
dinner.
tell you what the real trick is?
Yeah.
Go have dinner and not use your phone. Because that's what we do.
that
We'll
is
go
what I'm
eat by
talking about.
ourselves and
Yes. Also on the list,
at the bar.
people want to normalize women having body hair, being a virgin, having an STD, not forgiving people should be normalized, being an introvert, and yelling at your children in public. These are all things. Now, again, yell at your kids in public. Why does it matter what I think about what a terrible parent you are in the produce aisle at Kroger? Right?
That sounds a little too targeted.
Oh,
actually.
come
Is that
on.
a personal experience?
Well,
Sorry.
listen, we were talking last night on the show about tipping. I will say when I'm with my kids in public, particularly at a grocery store where apparently I'm very popular, I am very aware that like people are watching. You know they are, and it's that moment where I'm like, get in the damn cart. That they're gonna be like, oh hey.
I thought Steven Oviedo was nice.
I thought he was so nice on TV. Well, guess what,
Fine
folks?
with normalizing some things, though. Like, I think that's fine, but some of these things have got
But normalize it for yourself, right? Like if it's
Yes.
your thing. One of the things that I love about people is when they have a thing, and the stranger that thing is. When we go to interview people at their house and they're like, come check out my garage, and it turns out they build like Victorian homes out of matchsticks, and they love it,
Yeah.
and they don't care what other people. I think that is so cool. All right, we also think it would be cool if you joined us for round 2. Plenty more to come after the break, including this: facts. Oh, no. Why let the workday get sidelined by them? The reporter who says she just made them up. And a little later on, what is worse, the bite of a bear or not capturing the moment on your cell phone? If you order a pizza now, you could be eating before the show is over, for real. Okay, the first rule of reporting is you gotta get your facts right, and sometimes even from 3 sources. But let's be honest, we have the internet and so-called citizen journalists to thank for getting rid of that pesky protocol. And now we also have Fox Sports reporter Carissa Thompson for normalizing it.
And I've said this before, so I haven't been fired for saying it, but I'll say it again. I would make up the report sometimes because A, the coach wouldn't come out at halftime, or it was too late, and I was like, I didn't want to screw up the report, so I was like, I'm just going to make this up because, first of all, no coach is going to get mad if I say, hey, we need to stop hurting ourselves. We need to be better on 3rd down. We need to stop turning the ball
Pressure
over.
the quarterback.
We need, yeah, exactly, and do a better job of getting off the field. Like, they're not going to correct me on that.
Right.
So I'm like, it's fine. I'll just make up the report.
Sam Gannon, is it fine?
No, it's not fine at all. The first thing that struck me, and I don't agree with this at all about lying or fabricating anything, especially when it comes to Sideline, is the fact that she admitted to it on a podcast. That's the first thing I said. I said, why would someone in her position, who's one of the main sportscasters, I mean, she works for Network, tons of people know who she is, she's had a successful career, why would you admit something like that? Because the moment she said it, she had to have thought, this is going to go viral. And it did.
I feel like she was kind of proud of it, actually. Do you think that she was so quick to admit it because she feels so far removed from her sideline reporting days now that she's a big deal?
I think so, but she wasn't that far removed from it. Like, it wasn't that long ago that she was doing Sideline. And, you know, she does a podcast with Erin Andrews, who's the #1 on Fox Sports, too. And her team also released a statement saying that she had admitted to maybe a time or two fabricating something. I think it diminishes what we as women have fought so hard to accomplish in an industry that's been dominated by men. And you had all the sideline reporters tweeting right after that news broke, Tracy Wolfson of CBS, Lisa Salters of ESPN, saying it's absolutely not okay. It's all about relationships. And I think most of these coaches in the industry, they realize that not everyone's like that, but I couldn't believe that when I heard it.
Steve Eager, you a liar on TV?
Only when I say I'm having fun sometimes. So I didn't like most what she said after. Like, what I wrote down.
Well,
I've never been unethical. She said she didn't. She tried to upgrade her. I didn't like.
I never said the coach said it.
I didn't say they told me that, and it's like that's way.
Well, and she said that in the follow-up coverage. She did. I don't know that she said it in the moment, but when she saw the backlash, I think it was a Post article where she was like,
she said, "I never lied."
Well, I never lied. Yeah. I mean, I made it up, but I didn't say somebody else told
Somebody
me.
probably got it to her, like Steve Noviello. What did the coach say?
Right.
And then she says, "Well, they need to work on," and so she could say, "If she did that, I never said that." Right.
The only thing I'm going to say when I saw it, I thought to myself, I don't think it's okay. That's number one. And I agree with you, Sam, and everything that you said, because for women in that industry, I so get it. But on the other hand, have you ever heard of some of the coaches? Some days you hear them, and sometimes it's the same thing they said last week.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Nobody wants to hear
a lot of these
Belichick.
coaches, and sometimes I've never understood, and they don't do it all the time, but interviewing coaches like at the end of every quarter, I'm always like, why are we doing this? Because they don't want to do it's the same thing.
Okay, I do want to play part 2 of this video because now she's talking about, oh, well, I do it because I know it's stuff that they were going to say. Or is that actually the reason? Take a listen.
There is a reason that I'm no longer a sideline reporter, and I say this to Aaron Andrews all the time. I'm like, you prep all week long. You have all these calls with players, you have all these calls with coaches, you have all this for 15 to 20 seconds, and then half the time it's not even on camera.
Right.
It's just like a report. So I'm like, the amount, the ROI on the amount of work that you put in versus what you actually see, I give them so much respect, and there's a reason that I don't do that anymore either.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a little bit of a different story. So this now she's saying, you know what? At first it was, well, I don't say anything anybody wouldn't say anyway. Now it's, well, actually, I think that's a lot of work to actually do my job right, and that's why I lie.
Well, the way I interpret it
So
too
flippant.
is maybe is it not enough airtime or FaceTime because of
even
those,
on camera.
and it's
That's what I heard her. I'm not even.
Well, she said,
Right.
I mean, Erin Andrews, I mean, a huge, sports name, especially among female sportscasters.
Yeah.
I can think
Right.
of no one else. She talked about, oh, well, she works so hard, and the ROI on all the work she puts in is just not enough for me.
yeah.
So I
and-
just make it up.
Well, and the thing is too, there's much more. I mean, Erin Andrews does sit downs with coaches, with players that air, during game day throughout the week. So it's not just the game preparation and all the years that she's put into that. It's opened up doors to other things.
Okay, so here's my question in the moments we have left here. So notice there's no cancellation here. I mean, we are
That's what I
like
was
deep
going to ask.
into
Have any
cancel.
men have the guts to say anything about
Well,
this?
I mean, listen,
Or,
you look at a guy like Billy Bush, right, who kind of got canceled
yeah,
for
he
just
did.
being next to the president when he said, or the
Well,
then
he kinda-
candidate,
he
and yes, he egged him
giggled
on,
along,
right, I get
and-
it, right? But, I mean, and maybe we're moved past that a little bit, but I'm a little surprised that there's no one saying, you're out. You don't get to have this job anymore if you've admitted to lying.
Well, and the thing is too, when that news broke, she also does Amazon Prime. She hosts the pre-halftime and post-game shows for Thursday Night Football, and she was on that broadcast.
Really?
So why don't you think cancel culture applies here?
Wow, because she's pretty, she's beautiful, and she was honest. I'm telling you, that's probably what people are thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I can't imagine any other reason why.
Yeah, and I guess the
And it happened in the past.
well,
Right.
and the format in which she says it, like she's just kind of shooting the breeze
Right.
with
Yeah.
guys.
On a
and
podcast.
on a
Get canceled?
podcast, it doesn't really
Can
count.
women get canceled for that?
I
A very
mean,
rare job, a woman in
yeah.
a very rare,
Rare job, yeah.
I mean,
She's
I
an
could think of some
outlier,
women that
and
got
then you're
canceled, probably for worse stuff, but, I think that it could happen. It was interesting to me that it didn't ever seem to dawn on anybody that there would be a consequence to this, other than some bad press for a few days until we move on to the
I think it
next
was
thing.
what she said afterwards that kind of cleaned it up. And again, there's levels to this, and it shows you why Erin Andrews is where she is too. And I just feel like there's levels, and she showed you that she's not going to put in the work.
And you said that as a joke. She's pretty. Mm-hmm. Dudes. Mm-mm. Well, she's fine.
No.
It's okay. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's just all
This might
over
be
the
a whole
board.
other big discussion
I know it.
another night about this.
You may be right. I'm sitting here thinking that's not right. No,
Good thing Steve Eager's pretty. There we go. All right, up next, all he wanted was a bear hug. The viral video raising the questions, are our cell phones killing us? And there's always room for you on the panel. I want to hear your 2 cents on tonight's topics, or any nights for that matter. You can text your video message to 469-818-9114 and join the show. No test you have to pass to explore the great outdoors. Certainly it's suggested that you bring food and water, some safety gear, and oh yes, a full battery for your cell phone for moments like this. Poor guy was just looking for the perfect picnic basket, and she was very busy pressing record when the two of them met on a hike. Now, luckily, all of her instincts kicked in. You heard the whistle, you heard the screaming, and you heard that inner voice saying, hold the camera steady and keep recording. But are we so concerned with capturing all that life or even impending death has to offer that we are literally dying for our social viral moments? Spoiler alert, yes, we are. According to the latest statistics available, the number of people who have died by selfie worldwide has a comma in it. A comma. Wow. Like the 20 people who all moved to one side of a boat in central Java to get the perfect picture, causing it to capsize. 9 of them died. Or the 25-year-old man who jumped onto the top of an 18-wheeler and started dancing only to be knocked to his death after the truck passed under a bridge in Houston. Viral moments, for sure, because we're going to talk about them right now. I mean, we all work in a space, and I know this includes you, Dee Dee, where there is a social media presence that you need to keep up, right? But I mean, it's just getting out of hand.
It really is. By the way, that video with that woman and that bear, I just want everybody to know, I would have used the bathroom on myself right then and there. I mean, whistle, do anything. All I would have done, I would have froze and just said bye-bye.
It's called scenting, I think is what it's called.
I was going to say, he come after you even more than
Oh my gosh, that is scary. But yes, we are doing that for these viral moments, and it's so sad to me that we're doing this, and we're, you know, and I'm guilty of it. I really am. I've been places that I shouldn't have been and try to touch animals and things that I shouldn't have because I want to post online. I've done it.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks cool.
So I like to study these things, right? That's why I looked into it. And there's a phrase like, if it's a brown bear, you lie down.
Right,
really?
Brown lay
Black bear,
down,
you fight back.
Yep.
And if it's a white bear, meaning a polar bear, you're going to die. 'Cause polar bears are.
If it's a white bear, you're on the wrong vacation. I mean, let's be honest.
But I was interested. First of all, she needed to. They say speak to the bear, like she's
Really?
raw.
Well,
Make yourself big, but
Yes.
they say talk. Make it clear you're not one of them, like that you're a human. You're something else that I'm not.
You don't taste
interested
good.
in. You're like, get back, stay away. I mean, like use language. I had never even thought of that. I have a bunch of other things.
Well, but interesting though. So again, and she she did the things, right? Clearly, this woman knew what she was doing, right?
Did she want to record going out? Do you want to do that?
It's the recording stuff, right? Like here I am in a house fire. Let me push record while I'm trying to get out of this house fire. I mean, these are life and death moments here.
You're
that
right. It wasn't rolling before.
Right.
She saw the bear and she turned.
I saw that video. What is that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and the bear, where that scene where he's fighting the bear? That's immediately what I thought of.
Oh, wow.
Do we understand that they can run and
Yeah.
they can run fast?
Yeah.
And at any second, that bear could have
decided.
to charge.
Yeah.
And it can outrun her.
But we see it all the time, right? We see people, how many times do we hear, oh, fell to their death hanging off the side of a train car, fell to their death for the perfect moment at the Grand Canyon.
It's sad.
You know, all of these different things.
But Steve, you guys have to understand something. If we don't video it in that moment, it didn't happen.
Well, of course, right?
I mean, that's what people think, right?
Well, and I also think that, listen, I'll be the first to say, I get that itch scratched by virtue of what I do for a living, right? Like, I'm not really looking for my viral moment because I'll have another opportunity the next day.
Right.
Anybody can be
built-in
famous.
content.
Anybody can be famous now, right? If you get the right video.
But I don't think that it's necessarily a communication thing in terms of how much time we're spending together, but how much time we're spending like this. Because frankly, I'm guilty of this, I have raised my camera at the 4th of July fireworks. I have never played them back. and watch them, right? So
Such a
I
good
think that
point.
it's disappointing to me to see that we are robbing ourselves of life's moments.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of this too with my own kids, where I'm like, oh yeah, it's like put it down, put it down,
What
connect.
you're not discussing is the money possibilities.
Well, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Storyful. Well, and that video, by the way, I believe is from Storyful.
If
So
you get
somebody paid her,
monetized,
right?
you can make money, and
Yep.
so that is an element.
That
why
is an
people
incentive
might
to
be doing it.
continue to
Yes,
pick up your phone to
exactly.
film those moments.
Not
All
your
right.
fireworks, but
We've got an incentive for you to stay tuned. Up next, it is your chance to weigh in. Dee McGuire is our guest, and that means she is ready to share your video voicemail.
All right, so it's your turn to join the panel with your video messages. Tonight we head to Dallas, where April has something to say about the gospel singer who got 2 Grammy nominations. And remember, the flight attendant had to check her? Take a look.
Elevating your voice in public around a lot of people in a small enclosed area such as a plane is definitely disturbing the peace. And I don't care how many Grammys you're up for. I don't want to hear that. I wouldn't want to hear it if it were my favorite artist.
Well, I'm going to disagree with that one, because if Beyonce was on that flight singing, I'm good.
And if
I want to
Bad
hear
Bunny
it.
was on that plane, forget it.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
I don't think Beyonce is flying commercial.
No.
Actually, I don't know how you fly, so you may be on a plane with her. I don't know.
Oh,
how you
no,
roll.
not at all. I wish. But yeah, that was kind of interesting.
I think you
Okay.
made, and that was, of course, last night we talked about that, and I think you made a good point. Singing in the name of God also buys you a little
It
bit of
should.
a little leeway there.
You would think.
too, right?
I mean, I would have thought that. I kept telling you guys, I would have never said anything to her. I would have just said, good luck, amen.
If it was like a 20-second thing, it would have been fine for me. But the fact that it did go on, and they got into it, and she kept going.
Well, and I was told to stop,
Right.
and then okay, and then I'm going to be sneaky about it, and then did it again, and again, what the video didn't show that we aired was she started in the center of the plane in the aisle, like addressing the whole plane as if we're all here
For a
you know.
concert.
I'm just the opposite on a plane. Like when one of my kids maybe has an ear, and I'm like, oh gosh, please. I'm like hiding in the men's room with, because I feel so bad that I'm disturbing everybody else. Like
Yeah.
I feel like you have something to say.
Well, who cares about her? I mean, she claims I'm up for a Grammy. It's a 14-member group that is not her.
If it's a
And
group,
then
it doesn't count.
She is in the middle of the aisle like, look at me.
I know,
No,
because we're
thanks.
all so very, very, very important these days. And you know what? We think you're pretty important too, and that's why we want you to join the panel. If you've got something to say, good, bad, or even ugly, you can text your video comment to 469-818-9114, and you just might see yourself on the show. We are back tomorrow night with the culture of cyber begging, and guess who's to blame? You are, whether you're just starting your day or just ending it. Remember, opinions are like air fresheners. Yours is kind of nice, but everybody else's, they stink.